would send me to hell just because I don't believe he exists? Whoa, 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 hold on there. God doesn't send anyone to hell, buddy. You send yourself to hell by choosing to disobey God. You have the free will to choose, and you're choosing hell, not God.
Okay. This is the theology of Christians who push their foot around the issues. Christians who do not preach the whole counsel of God. Christians who are too sissy to preach God as he really is. God is love, but God is holy. God loves the sinner, but he hates.
Are you all from around
He hates it. According to Paul Washer, he hates the sinner. R.C. Sproul says God both loves and hates the sinner. So, Christians, the people send themselves to hell because they don't love God. Well, hey, everyone is overlooking one simple fact. God created it this way. Let's see what I wrote here. Jonathan Edwards wrote in the sermon, "Sinners in the hands of an angry God. God delights in heaping terrors upon the damned. Those in the lake of fire who are beyond any hope of redemption, it delights God to terrify them with unspeakable torments." Now, why is this? First, because doing this demonstrates that God alone is the source of everlasting happiness, everything, life, light, love. It all comes from God. And without God, you don't get none of this. For God to allow any sinner to find happiness, light, and life, and love apart from himself would be for God to sin against himself. That's how serious it is. It is. That's what is meant by is part of the holiness of God. Everything is devoted to God. Everything comes from God and everything goes to God. If you don't go to God in everlasting life, you go to God in everlasting the second death. And he was, like it says, like God was telling Israel, if you do well, I will rejoice over you to do you good. If you do evil, I will rejoice over you to do you evil. But how do you reckon this with God swears by his own name, as I live, I have had no pleasure at all in the death of the wicked. At all. Do you hear that? God swears by his name. So, if God takes delight in tormenting sinners with the second death, then did God take his own name in vain? Did God swear falsely by himself? Is God noticing this? Jesus, are you even real? Or is this, or are you real but you're just teaching us and what you call it? What's the word I'm working? And increment. Teaching us in increments. You do not desire anybody to die at all. But if the sinner sins against you and dies, you take delight in the fact that their eternal, everlasting misery glorifies you as being the only source of love, life, and happiness. So, if Christians would stop being sissies and preach the whole counsel of God, You wouldn't have atheists like dark matter mocking their theology. Because Christians today are pussies. It's the Laodicean lukewarm church. For you.
You know what I hate?